Okay, girls. Turn to page number 98, everyone. Turn to page number 98. Write today's date over there. Write today's date, that is 4th.
What?
Page 98. Page 98, write today's date, 4th November. Now, what is this called? When you see this picture, who will say me this? When you see this picture triangle, what do you call it as? Girls, I want answers, please. When you see this triangle, what do you call it as? What is the name of this triangle? Pyramid. It is energy pyramid, which shows you the passing of energy. Now, the first question, who get energy from sunlight to make own food? Who get energy
Producers.
to make own food? Yes, Majduleen?
Plants.
Who get energy to make own food? Majduleen? Noor, who gets energy from
Producers.
producers? And who get energy by eating other organisms? Consumers.
Consumers.
Water that flows over the surface of the ground. If it is on the surface, it is called as runoff. It is called as runoff. Bacteria turn nitrogen gas. It is called as nitrogen fixation. Dead organisms that were buried turn to fossil fuels. Carbon from the material re-enter the atmosphere by combustion. Carbon from this material re-enters the atmosphere by combustion. This is what we have taught in the summary. Now coming to blanks. The ability to do work is called energy. Matter is anything that has mass and take up space. What can be used to trace the flow of energy through an ecosystem? What is that called? Energy pyramid. When you see the energy pyramid, when you see this energy pyramid, it can be used to know the flow of energy, how energy goes from producers to consumers. Zishan? What is the difference between producer and a consumer? Can you tell me the difference between producer and a consumer, Zishan? Who are producers and who are consumers? When you all don't like to at least say me, reply me, why are you there in the class? Zishan, I'm talking to you.
Yes.
Yes, tell me the difference between producer and consumer. Who are producers?
Producers would just eat plant.
Producers are plants, not eat plants. Producers means they are plants. They don't eat anything. They make own food. Understood?
Yes.
Okay, Miral. She told me producers are plant. They make own food. Who are consumers?
Can I answer?
Let Miral and I will give you the chance for decomposer. Yes, Miral. Who are consumer? Okay, Majdureen, tell me.
Consumers that eat other organisms.
Yes, excellent. Producers are plants. Consumers like us. We eat the producer. We eat plants. Now, Judy, can you tell me what are decomposers?
Who break down dead materials.
Yes. Who break down the material using chemical.
Dead materials.
Now, law of conservation of energy and mass, that it cannot be created, it cannot be destroyed. Who will try to explain this answer? Why do they need nitrogen? To make what? The body need nitrogen to make what? To make anyone? With P, they want to make P. What is that P? To make what? Anyone? To make proteins. Nitrogen is used by us to make proteins and DNA. To make proteins and DNA. Did you understand, girls?
Yes.
Let's start with a new lesson. Lesson number 4, changes in ecosystem. By the end, we will learn that how natural processes change ecosystems. Girls, if I say natural processes like combustion or natural disasters, how do they change the ecosystem? And how do they help something to get better after the disaster? We'll learn about this in this lesson. Okay, this is from your before classes. First question. Some damaged ecosystem can recover after disturbance. Can they recover after disturbance? True or false? Some they recover after disturbance, like after earthquake, after tsunami, and after. Can they recover? True or false?
True.
True. Yes, they can recover. Ecosystems only change slowly. They don't suddenly, suddenly something new cannot happen. They change slowly. So true or false? True again. Changes in ecosystem proceed in a fairly predictable way after a disturbance occurs. It's not that true, the third one. The second one is false because sometimes like earthquake happens, maybe in 1 month everything can get normal if they start constructing it. So second is false, third is true. Ecosystems eventually stop changing. This is also false. Now next. Guys, do you know about beavers? How beavers change the environment? Do you know beavers? Do you know about beavers? I will show you a video. You will come to know how beavers change environment.
Beavers
Can you hear them, girls?
Yes.
bring life to rivers and the land. They re-engineer the landscape to create safe habitats for themselves where they can hide from predators
See how they gather.
and swim to where their food grows. Beavers feed on bark and leaves in the late autumn or winter then switch to softer wetland plants in the spring and summer. Life is easy for the beavers that live on big rivers, but when the best habitats are fully occupied, young beavers are forced away from them through vicious territorial disputes and must make their homes along the narrow tributaries. Here they're more vulnerable to predators, so millions of years ago, to avoid the big cats that preyed on them, they learnt to build dams. In doing so, they radically change the habitats in which they live. Using stones, branches and mud with astonishing ingenuity, they construct first one and then a series of small dams.
See how
Wherever they find a
make
leak,
their
they
house.
stop it up. Before long,
Can you see how their ideas have changed the environment? How they bring those blocks and those woods and everything, and how they make the dam a separate house so that they get away from their predators.
even
Something like change in an ecosystem. They change the ecosystem. They don't let that ocean be an ocean. They don't let that river be a river.
small seasonal streams start to look like mountain rice paddies dammed up with wood, a series of stepped pools surrounded by wetlands. These are phenomenally rich habitats that abound with life, harboring an abundance of insects, great concentrations of frogs, small mammals, and water birds. And drought, North American tribes they notice that beavers are highly social creatures who live in their lodges built of sticks in tight family.
Did you understand a bit by looking at the video? How the beavers are constructing these and they change the environment? Are you all there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so what are the vocabularies? Noor, please read out the vocabularies there.
Eutrophication, pioneer species, biodiversity,
Succession. All are very strange names, girls. Eutrophication, pioneer species, succession, biodiversity. In your next quiz, you will also have vocabulary terms, girls. So please, while we are doing this textbook, you need to highlight the vocabulary terms. Like here on this page, you will highlight eutrophication is the process in which organic matter and nutrients slowly build is the process in which organic matter and nutrients slowly build up in a body of water. This is called a eutrophication. They happen very slowly, girls. Like this process, eutrophication, it happens very slowly. The organic matter and the nutrients are slowly building up in the water. The nutrients increase the growth of the plant. Because of the nutrients, the plants which are inside that water area, they are building up slowly. When the organisms die, decaying matter, you know that when I told you even in my last class, like when the fossils of those fishes, they go and you see, they become coal or they become some sedimentary rocks which you find near the beaches and ocean. So when these organisms die, decaying matter sinks to the bottom of the pond. These organic matter can eventually fill the pond and become soil that grasses and other meadow plants can grow in. So this doesn't happen in a day or 2 days or in a year. It takes many years to have this change in the ecosystem. And now this is about slowly. Slowly is eutrophication. When I'm talking about slow changes, you will speak about eutrophications. And now here, about the changes suddenly, guys. How can we find it suddenly? Now, ecosystems can suddenly change due to catastrophic natural disturbance. Like I told you, some natural disaster can change. A hurricane, strong wind can blow down trees and destroy vegetation. Lightning can start a forest fire that rapidly clears away plants and altars. And you know that forest fires are so common in USA every year. Like there is fire for continuously 3 months where nobody can actually blow that fire out. A volcano, such as Washington's Mount St. Helens, can erupt and cause massive destruction. But destruction is not the end of the story. There are recovery that bring new changes to ecosystem and the population that live. You know, after a volcano, you get marbles from those rocks, they cool, and that is where we use the marble and the stones, igneous rocks, as to make the homes, to build up the homes. Okay, now here, let us go to the next page. What is the meaning of succession? Girls, when I say succession, you must know that I'm talking about maybe after 10 years. What is the role the ecosystem to develop? What is the role of ecosystem by themselves, how they change and how they make it develop? The slow development or replacement of an ecological community by another ecological community over time. It has to be over time. It's slow, girls. It's called as succession. Did you understand the word succession? The change, what?
Yes.
But it has to be a good change, not a bad change. Slow development or replacement of an ecological community by another ecological community over time. This is called as succession. So there are two kinds of succession, girls, primary and secondary. When I say primary succession, what is it? A community may start to grow in an area that has no soil. Imagine once there was a disaster and there was nothing on the ground. So the community starts to grow. They put the soil there, they bring something from, this is called primary succession. Someone is planning to do something, the first organism to live in an uninhabited area, they are called as pioneer species. Now girls, imagine there was a land where nobody stayed, no one, okay? And you go there and you plan to build up an area, you plan to develop that area. Imagine there was a group of some animal started to live there. So the first animal or the first organism, maybe it can be human, it can be insect, it can be anyone. They plan to start to live there. Those organisms or those species are called as pioneer species, okay? So pioneer species such as lichens grow on rock and help to form soil in which plants can grow. Tomorrow I will continue, girls. Did you understand till here?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much.